Let's continue. Right now we are going to have the connection to Dhillon Andrew Kannabhiran, Chief Executive Officer Hack in the Box. And right now I'm going to switch into English because Dean is our English-speaking partner. He's one of those who helps us to make the standoff possible. In the Hack in the Box platform last year, we've been doing standoff in Abu Dhabi. So, hi, Dhillon.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
We are doing well. You know, we started 2.5 hours ago, and so far it looks great. They just told me how many people watching us at the same time on our online resources, and it's over 1,000 people right now watching us there. And the average time of people staying on the platform is 15 minutes. It's almost an hour. It's really great.
That's pretty good.
It's really great, and I'm happy. Yeah.
You know how it is online, right? Like everybody has like 7 seconds attention, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
They are watching.
Yeah.
15 minutes is significant. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So, hi. How are you? How are you, Dhillon? Yeah. So far, where are you now?
Not too bad, man. I mean, we are all stuck at home, so I'm actually in Malaysia. But you know, the team members all around the world. So we have team members in Netherlands, we have members in Singapore, some guys in Europe and Middle East. And yeah, I mean, the situation is not great, but we're safe. I mean, right? We're at least we're healthy. Could be worse, but yeah, we missed going and meeting everybody, right? And being face to face with people and you know, hacking stuff in the real world. But never mind, we make do. We make do. It's okay.
The world is going on. Yeah.
Yeah, the world. Yeah, exactly. The new world is here, man. Get used to it.
Dhillon, tell us about Hack in the Box, what it is, and tell us about the community.
Sure. So, I mean, Hack in the Box is very similar to other security conferences. I guess the big one would be Black Hat DevCon, right? I mean, we're kind of like the same, I suppose. The main difference that we like to think is that we're very volunteer-driven, so we're very community-driven. So we're not commercial conference. We like to say that the conference is put on by the people who help out, right? And they set the tone and the feel of the conference. So it's very technical. It's super hands-on, community-based, community-focused. Quite similar to kind of the content that you guys would see at you know your events or any other kind of event where you have like zero-day talks, and, you know, new exploits and attack methods and all that good stuff, right?
When is your next conference? It's just right after standoff, right?
Yeah, next week. Exactly. So you know, we've got this like thing at the top here, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cyber Week, which is
how do you manage? How do you manage to organize it? You have kind of online platform. You connect people somehow offline. How do you do this?
Yeah, so previously we had just the normal stuff, right? Like Discord, YouTube, all of that, right? The standard kind of conference system that everybody uses. But we have a new platform that we are trying out. So it's kind of like a audience-first networking kind of a platform. So it's a little bit different, not what people are used to. But we hope that it will try to replicate, you know, kind of like a hallway track. You know, when you're in a conference and you walk around, you just bump into people, right? And you just have a conversation with them. Maybe somebody new, maybe somebody you met last year, you know, familiar face, could be a friend. And then you kind of make an appointment, like, you know, we're going to meet later and have some beer, or, you know, we're going to hang out or whatever. And so this new system kind of tries to mimic that. So it kind of like, you can find people that you can hang out with, and then you can do a video call with them, you can chat with them. We hope it will, you know, be a little bit help with connecting people, right? Because we're all stuck at home behind our screen. It sucks, but you know, we got to try and at least think of something different.
So you are participating in at standoff for second year in a row, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. So technically, we're not really participating. We're collaborating with you guys.
Collaborating,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, last year we brought you guys over to UAE and we had like the standoff, a big standoff in the desert, right? Where
Yeah.
we built, you guys built the model city and then we invited all the teams over. And then so this year, well, obviously we can't bring you guys there, we can't be together, but we thought, well, we should at least still support the standoff and because we're only as strong as each other, right? The community is not, it's small, right? And so we like supporting you guys. Yeah, we decided that we should work together again for the second year.
So what was your impression after the first year when you for first time seen the platform, seen all what's going on there? What were your thoughts? What were your feelings?
Well, okay, so prior to actually seeing the competition, we had obviously seen photos and we talked to you guys about it, we told us stories. But it doesn't really, you don't get the full impact until you actually see it live, see it really in moving with the train set and power systems, and then you realize that it's real live controllers, and it's not like a CTF, right? Like so,
Yeah.
traditionally hacker conferences like Hack in the Box, we have our own contest like CTF, right? Capture the
Yeah.
flag, and it's fun and it's enjoyable. People like to play CTF. It is to test your skills in a very particular way, but essentially it's still a game, right? It's not
Complicated,
real,
for a very limited number of people, but still a game, right?
it's still a game, exactly. It's a very limited game. It only tests like 1% of the people who are like super skilled can actually enjoy it. But it's not. You can't translate that skill. As in, just because you won a CTF doesn't mean that you can use that knowledge or that methodology to do your work better, or as in to implement it in the real world, right? Because they are theoretical vulnerabilities. They're usually conceptual vulnerabilities. They're not actually working vulnerabilities that affect everyone. And the standoff is different because it's simulating what is real, as in like the real environment, real controllers. And the impact is much easily understood by people because when you hack a CTF, right, it's like, good job, man. Right? Everybody
Good
does
job.
cool, right? But when you can hack a controller that powers a transport system or a hospital or some kind of critical infrastructure, everyone can understand that this is a problem, dude. Like this is not just for fun, right? Like, and it just, I guess, brings home the fact that companies obviously are looking for talent, right? This is a known thing. It's a global problem. Everybody's trying to find the best people to solve the problem, right? To help to fix it. And these people are not easy to find. Where do you find them, right? You go to contests like CTF and you go to contests like the standoff, where you can actually see for real, as in like the red team is supposed to be finding the bugs, right? And the blue team are supposed to be the defenders, right? So these guys, this is their job. This is what they do on a day-to-day basis. This is not a game for them. I mean, of course, they might enjoy it and it's fun and they get a prize and it looks cool and stuff like that. But essentially, they are proving that they are the best at what they are employed to do. That's very different from you won a CTF, right?
Yeah.
So we like standoff for that. We like it because it adds a separate component to the games, to the fun part. So there's a CTF, obviously, that we normally do, and that's great and that's fun, and like certain type of people like to play that. But really and truly, it's not solving the bigger problem, which is that we are all living in one planet, right?
No,
We're
that's
all
true.
kind of tied together. And we need the people who are going to help us find these bugs, but also help fix them, like the blue guys, right? The defenders.
So yeah, they told me, an experts participating at standoff, they told me, like, when you participate in a CTF, you like make 1, make 2, make 3, and you're a good man because you are very properly guided through everything what you have to perform, and the goal is very obvious. And it's like in a school, make 1, make 2, make 3, and get the best, become the best student.
Sure. I mean, the thing is that with CTFs, though, is that because they are kind of like not realistic, right? As in the challenges have been set up very specifically. It is interesting and challenging for the people who are solving it only because you don't see these problems in the real world. You wouldn't see a misconfigured maybe you might, but it's very rare to find like a a Bitcoin wallet that's misconfigured, or maybe an AI model that you can then abuse the model by trying to do some inference attacks against it or something of that nature, right? And so it's a simulation, so it kind of like you get to test it. Even if you write an exploit for it, you can't use it. You know what I mean? Like that what you learn can't really be deployed tomorrow in your job. It can't be deployed. You can't sell it, definitely.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And about standoff, the red and blue team told me that when you sit down and you see there's no limits to perform whatever you want to make in the city. So you started thinking like, okay, what should I do? Not 1, 2, 3, but first, how should I split my team to make different responsibilities for different kind of tasks? Because it's a team job, and the average number of people in the teams we have this year in the red teams is 7 or 10 people per team. So they distribute their responsibilities. The other thing is that there's absolutely different set of tools that they use. And it depends on their qualification and their, their skills actually. Because experienced people, they use the tools which are pretty much known. But if there are students who are not aware of which tools to use, so they will find something in internet that you would never expect. I mean, you can't you can't predict their behavior because they don't do as a template. They do it in their own way. And when you see this, we got 29 red teams and 6 blue teams this year. And this is over 200 people. So and when you see these different people with a different qualification and background, you just can't predict what's going to happen. And you can use such a lot of your fancy to go through the city and to see how to hack and how to defend. So that makes it really live.
Yeah. Also, I think it's what you mentioned, a very interesting point. The fact that the capability and the tools vary from team to team. But it's not so much about having the best hammer, the biggest hammer that you can come and whack stuff with. It's how you use it. So sometimes just because you have the greatest IDA, for example, like a debugger or a disassembler that allows you to disassemble software, that's only the tool. But your knowledge, as in your creativity in finding the exploit and actually chaining the exploit together, that sets it apart. So sometimes it's not so much about maybe you have a better tool makes it faster, but it doesn't make it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a difference between doing something fast and doing something well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Dhillon, let's talk now about your community, because the Hack in the Box is purely community driven organization. So tell us, what in security do you feel is exciting right now for those who is interested in getting into the field? What do you? Why it's interesting for the people to get in?
Well, the thing is that for network security and just IT security, computer security, and general hacking, right? Like, people misunderstand that it's not so much about if you learn A, B, C, and D, you will be a hacker, right? It's a mindset. As in, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of problem solving, it's a way of just approaching a big problem, breaking it down to smaller pieces, and solving it. So a lot of younger guys always come to me and say, what should I study? As in, what course should I do, or what certification should I get, or what path do I take so that I can become a good hacker or become a security professional? And I always tell them that when you plan to go from your house to the shop or to town, right? When you want to go somewhere, there are many roads you can take. You can take a long road, a fast road, a scenic road. And it doesn't matter how you get there, right? Whether you get there in 1 hour or in half an hour or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, right? You need to decide which is more meaningful for you, whether looking at the interesting things around you and learning everything that the nuances about network security, is that what is interesting for you? Or is it just getting to the end goal, as in just finding the exploit and doing that, right? Because that will kind of determine your path. Because if you want the quick and easy, there's obviously quick and easy ways, but that doesn't make you a hacker, right? I mean, that's just like what we used to call script kiddie, as in you know how to run a tool, but you don't know how to write the tool.
Yeah.
Right? So it just depends on what you want to get out of it. A lot of people think that, oh, I want to go into network security because I can make a lot of money, right? If I write zero-day exploits, I can sell an iPhone exploit for like 1 million or 2 million, 4 million, whatever, and then retire, right? People think that. But it's not so easy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
From the time that you decide I want to write an iOS exploit and I want to sell it, till the time that you're actually able to write it and able to actually sell it, might be years. It could be never, because even though you have the exploit, maybe nobody wants to buy it. Maybe the code that you have written gets patched by the time that you come up with the exploit, right? Like Apple patched it already, so now it's worth nothing, worth $0. So you need to understand what's your motivation. I cannot tell you what's motivating for you, right? But you pick what you like, and then you just study the hell out of it, man. Like nobody can tell you what comes when you stop, right? When you say I have enough, I studied enough, I learned enough. Nobody can tell you that. You answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
There is no end. Nothing ends, basically, right? Like you decide when you want to stop learning, or when you want to stop walking, or when you want to stop driving. Other than that, you can just keep going and going and going and going. There is no end. So in a hacker, nobody thinks of it as in like, oh, I achieved this certification, then now I'm done. I'm a hacker. I've made it. For us, it is a continuous journey. It never ends. As in, I'm old. Like if you look at the amount of gray hair I have, right? I'm not young, bro. I've been around, but I still learn every single day. Every single day, I learn something new. Every single day, I push myself. I try and learn something. It might not be useful for my job. Like I like AI and machine learning. I like self-driving car shit. Like that has nothing to do with Hang in the Box, right?
Yeah.
But I still learn. I still play around with it because it's what I like. It's what I'm interested in. So pick something that you like. Pick something that you love, because nobody can tell you what is interesting and what is worth time.
Yeah, that's true.
The only
Depends on you.
Yeah.
Soon or later, many experts face the choice which side to choose.
Yeah.
And this choice depends on many things. And there are different consequences, the opposite different consequences which will follow you after you make the choice. Can you give any advice or any thoughts, your maybe personal experience, how to approach this choice when you're staying in the front of it?
That's a very difficult thing to do, because it's very easy to get distracted, right? If somebody comes and offers you a lot of money, it's very easy to just say, okay, yeah, I will sell it to you.
Yeah.
But the question is always, you have to ask yourself, like, at the end of the day, will you sleep well at night, knowing fully well that what you have done might result in bad things happening? And I don't need to say what those bad things are, right? I mean, you sell an exploit, and the exploit can take down a power plant, right? I mean, like, figure out what would happen if that went into the wrong hands, right? If people abuse that knowledge or abuse that tool, which they got from you, how would you feel, right? You might have a lot of money in your bank account, right? Great for you. But at the end of the day, that decision that you made for that small, in the long run, as in like that small gain, that monetary gain, even if it's like $100 million, right? It might sound like a lot of money, but actually, is it worth it? If, for example, you 100 million people for $100 million, would it be worth it? Nobody can answer that except you, right? Only you can answer that. Whether it can, in your brain and in your heart, is that acceptable to you? It's not to me.
Yeah. So this is indeed a personal question for everyone, which face a different time. I personally believe that we are here to do the good thing, to create. And the idea of creation is simple, just to allow the next generation after you to live. And everything you do in your life as a person, as an employee, as an expert, is supposed to support the next generation to exist and to do it well, more safe, more protected, more comfortably, etc.
Exactly. Like I always tell some of the young guys as well, right? Like that finding the bugs and finding the flaws is easy. Fixing the flaws is not. So any idiot can go around and say this sucks, that sucks, this is broken, that's broken. It's very easy to do that. But how do we fix it? Because at the end of the day, this is the problem. You know what I mean? This is a problem that all of us constructively share. As in, for example, if somebody found an exploit against an airline system and they could make a plane fall from the sky, that's not a problem that's only affecting only technical people or only rich people, right? It affects everyone. It affects my mom, right? It affects your mom, right? Your parents. It affects your kids. It affects you. It affects everyone.
That's true.
So we need to think of it differently, right? As in like finding the bugs, finding the holes, somebody needs to find it. But we also need people to think about how do we fix it, because that is far, far more difficult. It's much more difficult to fix than it is to find the bug. There's always.
So Dhillon, talking about your community, can you tell who are these people, what kind of skills or who they are, what they do, how do you describe them?
Okay, I would say they're a mix, right? So between the guys that speak at our conference, right? So like the speakers, for example, that I would say that's part of our community. You have people like Bruce Nair, Paul Vixie. I think those are like legendary people in the industry, right? They've been around for a long time. But at the same time, you will also see students, maybe undergraduate students. Maybe they are like master's students, or maybe they're like just graduated. Maybe they wrote a thesis or a paper, and they are, coming to present it for the first time. They've never been on a stage before. They've never, done a live big presentation in front of like a big room. And so we like to give that opportunity because, as you mentioned, that everything we do in this lifetime, even though it might be alive for 50, 60, 70, 100 years, it is nothing. It is like, it's gone, right? In a few seconds, in like a blink of an eye, it's gone, right? So we always believe that we need to invest in the next generation and give a chance as well, right? Because it gets boring listening to the same old expert guys, the old guys keep talking about the same old shit over and over again, right? Like we need to create the space for the new people to come with new ideas. Because the old people sometimes are too stubborn, right? We just keep thinking that it can only be done in this way, because we are just like that. But sometimes we need a fresh idea, right? A fresh methodology, a fresh take, a new set of eyes, people who look at it differently, and that's only going to come from the next generation. It's not going to come from the old dude.
Yeah, guys, everyone who's listening to us now, we have kind of expert and philosophical discussion with Dhillon. It's very interesting to talk with an expert from the community, from both perspectives. So please ask the questions to the chat. So I'll be able to ask Dhillon whatever kind of question. That could be a philosophy of hacking, philosophy of protection. That could be a type of experience that people need to participate in events such as Hack in the Box or Standoff. And Dhillon, another question to you. What kind of skills among IT security people you consider as most needed at the moment?
I would say that it's not really a skill; it is a state of mind, right? So it's kind of resilience, as in not giving up, right? Like that's something that a lot of people forget. I can teach you the tool. I can teach you how to write an exploit, but it's that kind of like that hacker mentality, you know what I mean? As in, like when I show you something and I tell you this cannot be done, it's like you say, no, I can fix it, I can find a way. And you sit there and you spend hours and you go into what most people would call flow, as in it's a state of mind, right? Where you just work and work and work and work and you just like keep going. And then you look up and you're like, what the hell? It is like the next day, you know what I mean? Like that's flow, right? And so you need that, as in you need to find your flow state. And it's not really about a particular skill, but if you want to be pedantic about it, then what should you learn? As in, I would guess basic stuff. You know what I mean? Like from software development side of things, like exploit writing, like the bare basic. As in, you have to go back to to the old school stuff. You know what I mean? Even like low level buffer overflow, stack overflow, like the simple shit. Because if you don't understand that, then how the hell are you going to do like, you know, more exotic kernel bypass and, you know, sandbox escapes and stuff? You won't be able to, man. Like if you don't understand the fundamentals of how computers work, how memory addressing works, you know, how the hell are you going to write anything, man? You can't. Like you might be able to run the tool and it'll tell you like, yeah, you know, you've got, you know, whatever, like EIP is here, you know what I mean? But that means nothing to you because you don't understand like EBP, EIP, you don't understand the stack, you don't know what the hell is going on. You need to learn that first. You need to learn how to walk before you can run, right? Like, so start with that. But practice, I would always say practice your skills, right? You want to know how to get better, just keep doing it over and over again. You want to know whether you're doing a good job, write a paper. You want to know if it sucks, give a thought. People will tell you whether it sucks or not, man.
Oh, it's very fun conversation with you. And the last question to you, Dhillon. Tell us what's going to happen on Hack in the Box and when it's going to be, how to find it. And if you want to invite someone, just tell whom you're waiting for there.
Okay, awesome. So it happens next week, 18 and 19 of November. Everything is online, it's all free. You can go to the website like Cyber Week, this little URL, cyberweek.ae. And you can sign up, it's completely free. We have a platform, you can come and chat with people. There's like, you know, lots of cool speakers, there's lots of cool talks, there's labs, there's workshops. Most of it is free. There's some competitions as well. There's some like small CTF, some simple like reverse engineering challenge stuff. There's car hacking village, automotive hacking village. There's a red team, blue team for SCADA. We've also got like IoT stuff. So there's, I would say, something for everyone. There's even an AI village. Like I'm doing a self-drive. Like you want to learn how to make a self-driving car? come to my village. I'm doing like a self-driving car. Actually, like, you know, me and another bunch of guys. But it's something for everyone because we feel that hacking is broad. It's a very broad topic. It's not so much about breaking stuff, but it's outside the box thinking. It's creative problem solving, and it's being that passionate about something, whatever that is, right? You want to be a gardener, you be the best gardener, you're a garden hacker, man. You know what I mean? It's like, it's that state of mind, right? Like we don't discriminate. Like everybody's welcome because it takes all types to make the world go round, and we need all types to join the network security industry and to be part of our community as well. So everybody's welcome. All of you guys are more than happy. We'll be more than happy to see everybody there. So please come, sign up. It's free. Come and chill out. Listen to some stuff, chat with us.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Come and chill out. Yeah. Sounds like a dream. Dhillon, thank you so much for this interesting and very emotional conversation. And I'm really glad to see you at Standoff. And we'll be happy to cooperate with Hack in the Box in the future.
Likewise. Take care, guys.
Thanks so much.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
See you guys online. Bye-bye.